I see off the back of another dodgy result that Bale is taking an absolute shellacking again. I mean, surely to God others are going to have to carry the can as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting you say this. I mean, this is, I think, the 23rd injury of his Real Madrid career. I think it's the 13th time he's been forced off during a game because of injury. Yeah. And I think you're right, though, to focus it in terms of a shellacking, because what's happened with this is that every time Bale gets injured, and I must admit, I'm quite impatient with this. I think it's quite unfair. Every time he gets injured, he gets attacked as if he's somehow chosen to be injured. You know, as if he's somehow deliberately pulling out. Now, it is true that there are people at Real Madrid who believe that Gareth Bale doesn't always play through the pain in a way that others do, that maybe Gareth Bale doesn't have that slightly cliched fighting spirit thing that perhaps other players have. But I certainly think you're right, that to focus it purely on Bale isn't fair. That said, in truth, he's not the only person who of course, is having the finger pointed at him. A lot has been said, in particular, about Marcelo's performances this year. There have been doubts as well about who the third striker should be. So at the moment, it's Lucas and Benzema and Gareth Bale. But there's been a lot of talk about whether Isco should be in there, and a huge debate about what his role in this team should be, about what Marco Asensio's role in this team should be. So while I think some of the focus on Bale is unfair, I also think it's worth pointing out that it's not only him that's having people point the finger.
It's a lot of injuries. It's almost a year. 323 days, I think, it is in total since he joined Real Madrid.
And as much as I agree it's unfair, you also have to kind of remember that Gareth Bale positioned, or between him and his agent, his representation, positioned himself as the heir apparent to Cristiano Ronaldo. Coming back, going years back to saying he'd prefer to play through the middle. And now that he has that opportunity to wear that Ronaldo shirt, as it were, to see the team playing this poorly, of course, he's going to be the focus. But let's remember, at times, this same Real Madrid crowd, rather ridiculously, were booing Ronaldo as well. So to see them turn on Bale in this manner is not really all that surprising.
99% of players, maybe even more, don't want to be injured. They're the odd one who will throw a wobbly in and is not bothered. But most players will try and play. Some will play a little bit more through the pain. Sometimes you can't do it at all if it's a muscular injury. But the one thing that keeps popping up is this Ronaldo, filling the boots of Ronaldo. There's two guys that have been played in Spain, Ronaldo and Messi, over the last decade or so, that nobody on the planet can fill the boots of, and probably never will again. Maybe the odd player will pop up on the odd season and get somewhere close to 50 goals. But nobody, and I mean nobody, I don't care about if it's Mbappe or Neymar or anybody, none of them will go a decade with the stats that these two have. It's just incredible.
But having said that, you can't just give Bale a pass, surely.
Not giving Bale a pass. Nobody wants to be injured, and he needs to play better. But every time I switch my phone on, I've seen it again today, former Real Madrid player smashes Bale. It seems to be a theme. I just don't know.
But he hasn't helped himself. The comments after the Champions League final don't help, do you?
No. Well, what was the comments?
Coming out and saying, I better start next season, I'm going to be looking to move elsewhere. You know, if you come out and say that...
That's normal.
Is it? After winning the Champions League final?
What, a bit...
To make it all about you, to all of a sudden, because you've been come off the bench, you scored those 2 goals, you actually contribute.
At the time of the Champions League final, there was a man still in charge who actually didn't fancy him much at all. So maybe there was just a frustration there. We can't criticise players for having a bit of passion. That's the way it is.
It's not having a bit of passion. It's thinking about yourself at a time when surely you should be celebrating the club's victory.
I'm sorry about a player thinking about himself.
You're incredible. You are the biggest apologist for Gareth Bale.
No, I'm not.
You are completely. Always Gareth Bale. You give him a pass on everything for a reason I don't quite understand.
Oh, you don't understand a lot. I think the guy's a fantastic player, but he's not playing anywhere near his best. I understand that.
So he deserves to be criticised.
But he gets more than anybody else. Do you expect him to get 50 goals like Ronnie and Messi every season? No. But he's not playing as well as he can. But you run through that Real Madrid team, and most of them are in the same boat. Some of them are probably worse, but they don't get it like he's getting it. Let's be frank here. He's been getting it at Real Madrid, whether he played well or not, from the minute he came in the door.
Because of his price tag? And that
because
goes in hand in
because when
hand.
things weren't going well, there was a guy called Ronaldo who used to throw his arms up in the air in the Bernabeu and make it all very.
But there's also a guy called Ronaldo who scored 50 goals a season and can do that.
And you're talking about Gareth Bale looking after himself, and you've got him doing that. Come on.